Hello, friends. Welcome to How Did I Get Here, a series where I talk about the last 5 years of my life being homeless. Today, we're going to talk about Florida and also Alabama. Florida. First time I got into Florida, I came in through Tallahassee. And the first thing I did when I got to Tallahassee, so previously in Georgia, I had made a few $100s helping a woman move and some other things. And when I got into Tallahassee, I ordered a solar panel. It was a 28-watt big blue foldable solar panel. And I think I picked it up in Tallahassee. I either picked it up in Tallahassee or one of the smaller towns at an Amazon locker. And it was amazing. Uh, I wasn't really expecting all that much from it, but the first day I got it, it was cloudy out, and I decided to try it anyway. And it was still pushing charge through my phone. And from then on, whenever it was sunlight out, just charged up my phone and my battery banks. Super easy. One of the best purchases I made on this entire trip. I get down, I get into Tallahassee, and I start heading south because I kind of want to walk the beach. And eventually, I get to a place, I believe it's called like Tate's Hell State Forest or Park or something like that. A bunch of hiking trails and everything. And my girlfriend at the time, she drove down to see me. We hiked the trails. We camped out at Tate's Hell at one of the camping spots. Went to the beach, hung out. She left. I continued walking, and the next big thing that happened was while I was walking to Panama City Beach, I was walking through an Air Force base, not like directly through the Air Force base. I was walking on a public road, and to the left was the Air Force base, and to the right was the Air Force base. And I keep walking, and it gets to be like midnight or 1 a.m. I don't remember. It was just super late. That's all I remember. And I've still got the Air Force base on both my sides. And I'm tired and beat. I want to go to sleep. So I find these little bushes. The base has like 8-foot tall chain link fence. And I find these bushes that are just right outside the fence. And I get in between those bushes and the fence. And I just pass out. So, yeah, I slept like 2 feet from an Air Force base and never got caught or anything. I mean, I wasn't on the base, but I'm sure they would not appreciate a homeless guy camping out just a few feet away from the base. So, yeah, I had to be a little hidden there. It was also at this time I started realizing that my backpack was not for me. I'd gotten, as I said in a previous video, I'd gotten a frameless pack up in Georgia, and I did not like it. I don't like frameless packs. I learned that pretty quickly. I ended up walking, and I got to Panama City Beach, and I immediately ordered another backpack. Before I even got to the beach, I ordered another backpack. This one was a big hunting backpack, and it had a internal frame in it. And I get to Panama City, and oh my goodness, I had a fun time there. So I camped out in Panama City, in Florida, and I found a place right behind a dollar store. It was a Dollar General, some trees around it. It was pretty secluded. I put my tarp up like a tent, basically, and by this point I ditched my hammock because I just didn't use the hammock all that much, and I was just sleeping on the ground. And I put my tarp up into like a tent, and I go to sleep, and I wake up to like sirens blaring. Apparently, there's some tropical storm, or it might have been a hurricane, something along those lines, coming in that I didn't even know about. I'm sitting under my tent tarp. I'm just like, I think I should be good here. It can't be that bad, can it? I remember like 20 minutes after I said that, a gust of wind came and ripped the tent spike straight out of the ground. So I grabbed my stuff, I packed it up, and the Dollar General, it was a part of a shopping center, so it had an overhang. And so I went to the Dollar General, and I sat outside, and it's just pouring down rain. And you look at the parking lot, and the water levels just rising, rising, rising. One of the Dollar General employees came out and said, if you need to come in here to stay dry, you can come in here. Really appreciate that. I ended up staying out there, but I told her if the water gets up onto the sidewalk, I'm going to take her up on that. So stayed there for a little while. It ended up dying down somewhat quickly. It only rained for like 2 or 3 hours. My girlfriend then drove down to Panama City just to hang out. We hung out for quite a while, and then a tornado happened. So it was a tornado. Was it watch? I think it was a tornado watch. Tornado warning, I think, means the tornado is like touched. Tornado watch just means like the conditions are perfect for a tornado. And so there's a tornado coming, and more sirens are going off, and we go to the Walmart, and her little minivan is like rocking back and forth from the wind because it's super windy, and she just sits there. She's like, I don't want to go in Walmart. I want to stay here. This is cool. Just sitting there thinking like, you're crazier than I am. Let's get in this Walmart. I don't want to die to a tornado. Thank you very much. We go in the Walmart. We're chilling in there for like 20 minutes. Then we go to leave, and the woman stops us like, nobody's allowed to leave the Walmart for your safety. Oh, this is serious. Okay, that's nice. It's another 20 minutes past or so. Finally, we're allowed to leave. There's trees that are like down and everything. And me and her, we hung out for a little while. She ended up going back to Georgia. And originally, I was going to. Oh, and I got my backpack in Panama City. It was, like I said, it was a hunting backpack. It was so nice. Probably favorite backpack. No, not my favorite. One of my favorite backpacks. No, second favorite. It was so nice. It was, I believe it was 70-liter backpack, internal frame. It was just nice. Can't describe it. And so she goes back to Georgia. And originally I was going to go to Pensacola. I was going to go west, following the beach, and then go up to Pensacola. Unfortunately, the bridge that led into Pensacola was inoperable. It was apparently under construction, and you couldn't walk across it. And maybe you could drive across it, but that would have been sketchy. If I walked across a bridge that didn't have a sidewalk or anything, because it's up. I've never seen it in person, but it's a big bridge. Instead of going to Pensacola, I headed up north to, what was that little town called? Milton or something like that? Something like that. I get up there, and then I start cutting west. Then I get into Alabama. And Alabama, there ain't much really to say about Alabama. I remember I walked through one town, Mobile. Mobile, Alabama was the town I walked through. That town was sketchy. I didn't feel safe in that town. That was one of the few towns I was just like, I don't ever want to come back here again. And I got through Mobile as quickly as possible. Yeah, nothing really happened in Alabama. I got into Mississippi. So yeah, a few interesting things happened. This is a little bit of a shorter video, but next video is going to cover both Mississippi and Louisiana. The thing is, at this point in my journey, I kind of got everything down to a science. The first couple months, I wasn't 100% sure on what I'm doing. I didn't know what gear I needed, what gear I didn't need. I didn't know where's the best place to sleep, how to find the best places to sleep. But by this point, I have been doing this for a couple months. I knew what gear I needed. I knew what gear I didn't need. I knew how to find the best spots to sleep at where I'm not going to be bothered. I knew where to get food and such, what kind of food to buy that wouldn't break the bank. And, now at this point, I have a solar panel, which means I'm not reliant on going to a convenience store or not a convenience store, going to a supermarket or a gas station or a car wash and plugging in and sitting there for a few hours and charging. For the most part, I just strapped the solar panel to my back and it would charge decently. It would charge my battery bank decently. But I would still have to, take a break every now and then, sit down, make sure the solar panel is out in the sun, do that kind of thing. So yeah, as the series goes on, I progressively get, better at this. Go figure. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Tomorrow is going to be Mississippi and Louisiana, which is going to be great because tomorrow I get to talk about Shreveport, Louisiana. which is, you know, I talked about High Point. I didn't like High Point. I just talked about Mobile, Alabama. I'll never go there. Shreveport. I'm sorry for anybody who lives there. Your city. I can't even. It. No, never again. I don't want to be within like 100 miles of Shreveport. So that's going to be an interesting video. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I will see you tomorrow. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace out, everybody. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. If you want to support me, links are in the description. Peace out.